Food was beyond appetizing. People were just rude. This place has completely gone downhill, and I will never go back again. You'll find reviews like this online for everything from restaurants to hotels to doctors, financial advisors, even churches. What the heck did they do to you in church? And a recent survey found 70% of consumers trust online reviews just as much as recommendations from family and friends. But should you? And what should you do if you own a business and you get a really bad review? Branding expert Rob Frankel joins us now. Look, Rob, I will be the first to tell you, you recommend a restaurant to me, the first thing I do is I go online.
Yes, that's the first thing that you do. And what do you find there? You find a bunch of people with a bunch of opinions, and nobody knows if they were paid to put them there or if they're all friends of the owner.
That's the truth. But the thing is, even if I get, and I'll tell you, I get this, especially working in this business, you get really mean emails all the time. You learn not to believe stuff, right? But you still can't help but pause a little when you read a crappy review from the restaurant you're going to, about the restaurant you're going to tonight.
Well, there's a couple of ways you can kind of figure this stuff out. First of all, there's always the odd crank. In the early days of the internet, we used to call these guys trolls. Generally, if there's a bunch of good reviews and there's this one guy who gives you a half a star, you know that he's got something wrong, and most people, I think, understand that. The bigger problem is the more sophisticated reputation management people who, for either good or evil, will start to work their channels to start flooding it. And it's a lot harder to tell when you have a variety of to negative reviews. That becomes a problem, which incidentally is also curable.
Okay, but let's talk about this, because I could read a restaurant review and it could be the restaurant owner's mom. My mom's always good for a great review of anything, God bless her soul. So how do I know what reviews are legit and what reviews are from people who are really angry or had a really bad day and I shouldn't believe them?
Well, okay, now you're talking to a guy who's a branding strategist, okay. And so of course I'm going to give you the branding solution, which is this. If you have a true branding strategy, what you're really doing is setting the expectations of the public so that you can deliver on them when they walk in or when they buy your product. If you are really good at doing that and you have a true brand strategy, not just a logo or a name,
okay,
and you've set that expectation, that's what the discussion is going to be confined to. People are going to say they either did what they said or they didn't do what they said, but they're not going to start searching far afield. And that's pretty much the way that you can control it from the business's point of view.
Don't I have to get you there in the first place? If I read enough negative reviews, I'm just not even going to show up.
Well, if you read a bunch of negative reviews, you're going to have to, of course, consider the source and the sources. And that's kind of the interesting thing about internet behavior. Consumers, there are a number of things that they will do, and they've sort of developed these behaviors. One of them is, of course, being incredibly lazy and not checking their sources. The other one is to sort of be sensitive to what is the topic that's really going on here. And I submit to you that if the brand has set out, look, here's who we are, here's what they've done, and some crackpot comes in from left field, it's very, very easy to see we can ignore this guy.
Have you ever posted an online review?
Several.
Really? Do you recommend people do that? I was at a restaurant last night, had a fabulous time. Should I go on that site or whatever, on Yelp, on something right now, and post a good review?
There's only two reasons why I personally post a review. One is because I think that the guys really deserve a really good attaboy because they're undercapitalized and this is how they make their money.
Yeah.
And so I'll take time to really write a pithy good review. The other one is to trash the hell out of them because they really, really, really did a bad job.
I don't know. I think there's at least one great review that is the parents of the owner. So you have to discount that right off the top. That's just me, though. Rob, thank you so much. It's got to, right? I call my family, my cousins, and I'm Sicilian. I got a lot of people who can write good reviews. Rob, thank you very much.
You're lucky. You got a big family.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, so we want